So obviously, if you haven't figured it out already, our main topic this week, our show is almost always all about us. This week is especially all about us, but it's all about you as well, because this show wouldn't exist without your input, without your love, without you listening. This is our Hyperion Adventures 6th Anniversary Extravaganza.
That's right. Yeah, you're so right, honey. If it wasn't for you all listening and continuing to listen and getting to meet people through that, whether it's through social media, et cetera, I don't think we would have ever felt the need to continue this. But the amount of love and friendships that we've developed, and just like you said, the great feedback we get, week after week. It's not, I know we got a lot that came in for our celebration, but just the interactions we have on a daily basis is just so special.
So special. And today's episode is going to be filled with a lot of special notes and audio and video clips that came from so many wonderful people that we've been blessed enough to have gotten to know and have touched our hearts. And hopefully we've touched theirs a little bit in some places, and hopefully yours as well, whether you've sent us a clip or not. It is really special, and we want to thank everybody again. And we'll be thanking you over and over again throughout this show, because this has been amazing. It's been an amazing 6-year journey.
Yeah. Who would have guessed 6 years ago that we would have gone beyond month 1?
I know you didn't think that when we first started. You were like, "What are we doing? This is crazy." But it was quick when we learned that we really enjoyed doing this show. That we enjoyed getting together week in and week out and getting to sit down and talk about some of our favorite things in the world. And then, the bonus of connecting with so many fantastic people has just been the cherry on top of it all. It's just truly, truly been special.
Yeah. When you first, started talking about us doing a podcast, which I thought was interesting. I'm like, why? But okay. But you're right. It's become a very special time of the week that we share this together. We get excited throughout the week to do this, and it is a wonderful experience that we have. But I never thought about, like you're saying, the bonus that came about is getting to connect with so many people, so many wonderful people. I just wasn't thinking about that, and it just made it so much more enjoyable. I mean, it was already fun that we were doing this and getting the opportunity to explore more details and, be able to share some ideas with people, but getting to know people's been amazing.
It's been amazing. It's truly been an unexpected gift, and what a gift it's been.
Yeah.
It's been phenomenal. So let's go ahead and go through the show a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about the past, the present, and the future of this show, and sprinkled in with some notes from some people that have been just generous enough to pass some things on to us. So we started this show, actually our first episode began on June 3rd of 2018. That's when we first hit the podcatchers out there to whatever ended up being like 10 people who actually downloaded our first episode, mostly family and close friends.
Yes.
But that number has grown exponentially over the years. This episode right here will now be our 312th official full episode. We've had some bonus episodes and so forth, but as far as official episodes, this is number 312. Wow. It's also our 51st full episode of this year. We also did 2 bonus mini episodes that we did at Destination D23. This, I believe, is our first year that we've done a complete year where we've had something new, 100% new every single week, including those bonus episodes. We haven't done a best of, whatever. There's always been something new that we've included virtually every show that we've done, whether it just be the Disney stories of the week or tips or whatever. But I believe this is the first one that had full new content throughout every single week.
Wow. Yeah. I guess that's good, because I think some of the times we did the best of when we were on vacation, but there was some other times that there was some difficult times we were going through that we had to do the best of. So Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, somehow we worked through it this time, that even despite our vacations and weekends away, that we've been able to work out and put new content out there for you. In our time on the show, we've been downloaded in every state in the United States, downloaded and listened to in every state in the United States, and dozens of countries around the world, which always is amazing to me that people listen to us in far off countries that some of them we've never even heard of before. It's really impressive. More importantly, we've made so many friends. We've talked about it already. Several of them you're going to hear on this show.
Yeah. And, there are a lot of people that, connect with us sometimes on a more personal note rather than, through social media and everything. And, we appreciate that connection as well. We know that some people rather be a little anonymous or quiet in their sharing of their love, but I do want to recognize those people, who you are, and thank you.
And I'm going to tell you this right off the bat. I mean, there's a lot of people that chimed in this week. There's a lot of people that interact with us on social media, but even if you just listen once in a while, if you listen every week, if you listen once in a great while, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for putting in any tiny amount of time to us in this show. We can't tell you how much we appreciate that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and start off this year, looking back at this year by kind of looking back at our 5th anniversary. And I want to remind you of something that was very special from our 5th anniversary. And it was kind of kicked off by our great friend, Cam Ray.
Talent.
Who gave us a little song. And I want to, this is about the 5th anniversary, but I think it's fun to kind of revisit that song.
There's a great podcast on all things Disney.
That's right.
Hyperion Adventures is their name.
Movies, parks, cruises, and even Star Wars. That's for me.
Hyperion Adventures is the way. Tom and Michelle, husband and wife, they host every show on Disney Life. They're the sweetest you will ever meet. Catch a show or two, and you will see that there's a great podcast on all things Disney. Hyperion Adventures is their name. They're the best podcast on all things Disney. 5 years old today.
So impressive. Cam and his monkey lizard bub serenading us last year for our 5th anniversary. Well, he didn't have time to do a song this year, but he did write us a nice message. He said, Tom and Michelle, I wanted to record a new song for you to celebrate your 6 years of podcast gold, but my monkey lizard bub is mad about the current lack of monkey lizard Jedi representation in the new Star Wars media. And he blamed Disney and Tom for some misguided reason. He will come around eventually. And when he does, you can bet your Bantha biscuits I'll make him sing harmonies with me on a new Hyperion Adventures ditty. Can't wait for that.
Yeah.
That being said, you two are one of the most contagiously joyful couples out there, and your positivity and love and knowledge of all things Disney is most impressive. I love tagging along on all your adventures, and I so appreciate the advice you've shared over the years, either directly or through your podcast, that have helped my family and I navigate the complexities of the parks. Congratulations on your 6-year anniversary, and I hope your next 6 years are filled with as many smiles as you bring your friends and family each week. Thank you for being the living definition of supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Your friend, Cam, and Bub when he comes around. P.S. Diddle I. Yes. Thank you, Cam. By the way,
so much.
Yeah, well, you can find Cam. He's everywhere at Cam Ray Semi Productions. You may have seen when we did our promo a couple of weeks ago for our episode with Pat and Charles, that there was a little Bert and Ernie artwork that kind of went with that promo. That was Cam Ray that created that. He's so darn talented.
Oh my gosh, yes. And he's done some great ditties for Conversations podcast too. And I have to tell you, Cam, every time Scott, our son, hears you, he just lights up. I don't know. There's something that he's really connected with you, with your songs and everything. So thank you for that as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Kim. You're great. And we appreciate you and appreciate your time just writing that note. But then
Yes.
the song from a couple years ago or last year
was
was spectacular.
Yeah.
So over the last year, we've done our usual variety of episodes covering everything from Disney, including, Michelle's always amazing research. We've had trip reports, of course, our 5 favorite lists that are really never 5, kind of known for that. We've connected and heard from so many with you. We interact on our topics regularly and even on a daily basis on social media. We try and post something out there every single day on social media in the mornings. And here's a few people that chimed in through our social media accounts that we wanted to be sure and showcase out here. First one is Donna, who connected with us on Twitter. She said, "Congratulations, 6 years. Has it been that long? I hope for at least 60 more. Love you all." Thank you, Donna. We love you too.
Yeah, she's always so encouraging to us too, and gives us such kind compliments. Thank you for your daily connection with us as well.
100%. Scott in Minnesota hit us up and said, "In recognition of the show's quote unquote birthday, I say you name this week's show the Hyperion Anniversary Podcast." Okay.
Oh,
Sincerely, the happiest of anniversaries to you, Tom and Michelle. I don't know 2 people who deserve more continued success than the 2 of you. Thank you for all your positivity and feeding our FOMO while we are away from home. Thank you,
Cute.
Scott.
Yeah.
Scott always chimes in. He's very interactive with the show and always has some fun and interesting things to say. And his family is wonderful.
Yeah, I was just going to say, him and his family are just such great people, warm people, and talk about also some people who are very positive and share their love and through social media as well. We appreciate them for sure.
Yeah, completely. So much. We already talked about how we've been downloaded and listened to internationally. Well, this one comes from international spot. This is from Sue in the UK, who hit us up on Facebook and said, "Happy 6th anniversary Hyperion Adventures podcast, and to the 2 nicest podcasters out there, Tom and Michelle. Ever since I found your show in lockdown, I've never missed an episode. The podcast of positivity, and isn't that what we all need to hear right now? Positive and happy with loads of valuable information and topics every single week. Keep up the good work, you guys. Here's to many more." And she gave a little love emoji.
Yeah. Yeah. She's so special and a wonderful person. We love interacting with you, Sue. And we really can't wait to be able to meet you in person.
Yeah, which I think is coming up here in a few months. Yeah. I remember when she told us about it, she was like, "It is like almost 2 years away, but just setting it out there. I'm going to be at Walt Disney World, And so we're definitely looking forward to sitting down with you and hopefully having a cocktail or a glass of wine or just connecting with you for sure. So over the last year, we've been lucky enough to visit Walt Disney World several times. Now that we live in Florida, we are regularly going to Walt Disney World. We even had a chance to travel to the West Coast to go to our old stomping grounds of Disneyland over this last year, which was a phenomenal trip. It was so good to get back to Disneyland, right, Michelle?
Yeah. And we were very lucky and fortunate that the timing worked out, that we were able to still experience some of the holiday things that were going on, even though it was after the holidays, it was after the new year. But it was really fun to go back and see it again, kind of with new eyes.
Yeah. We even got to run in the first Run Disney race back at Disneyland since, I believe, if I'm trying to recall, I should have put it in my notes here, but I believe it was since November of 2017. It'd been since before we started the show that they had run at Disneyland. So it was nice. We did the 5K. So it was the very first race. It was great to have the races back at Disneyland. And now they're coming back. They're doing 2 this year. I'm hoping they're even expand that to do more races as we progress through the years. We have plans in a couple years to go back and run another race there for sure. Of course, if we're talking about the happiest place on earth, we need to discuss our favorite Disneyland aficionados who also paid a visit to the show last year. And that would be Jonathan, Camille, and the cutest Hyperion adventurer, Lorelei. They sent us a little message as well.
Happy anniversary, Tom and Michelle. We can't believe it's been 6 years since we discovered your podcast in the Plan Disney Hopefuls group. We first connected with you because you have a son with Down syndrome and we were eager to get to know you. And so we flipped on your podcast and we instantly fell in love and haven't been able to miss a week of it since.
Thank you so much for consistently putting out episodes every single week, even when you're on vacation. I don't think most people realize how much creativity and intentionality and work and effort it takes to not only come up with the ideas, to record them, but to put them out there for us in the community to enjoy. You bring positivity and a light to our life each week when we get to listen to the show, and we can't wait for the next year of episodes.
Lisa is out there.
So adorable.
So adorable. They're such a wonderful family, and we're just so blessed to have gotten to know them over the past several years.
Yeah, there are moments in your life where you get to meet the most special people that just there's something about their being that is just so genuine and so warm and loving, and that's that family. And we feel so blessed to have gotten to know them and gotten to meet them and share some time together.
And hopefully spend some more time soon. Definitely they will be back on the show very soon. Many of these people you're going to hear from, we have plans we're either working on or put in place. A lot of people are going to be making appearances in this next year on this show that you're going to hear today.
Yeah. And talk about talent. They are all talented. But
yeah.
Camille has some really skills when it comes to designing clothes and making clothes, and definitely something you should all check out.
Yeah. Her site, Castle Bound and Down. Lots of cute outfits for the little ones, but even for the larger ones as well, for the adults.
Yeah.
Check out her stuff. It's phenomenal, truly phenomenal.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is. I'm always impressed with what she posts out there.
For sure.
Yeah. So, but they weren't the only friends of ours that were blessed to visit Walt's Original Park this last year. Of course, our amazing friends, Keenan and Rachel, also made their first Disneyland visit, and they came on our show afterwards to talk all about it because they had only gone to Walt Disney World before that. So we wanted to hear all about their experience going to Disneyland for the first time, what the difference is, what they appreciated, what they liked. And Keenan was also nice enough to send us a little message.
Hi, Tom and Michelle. Keenan, the lesser half of Keenan and Rachel from Part of Our World podcast here. Has it really been 6 years? 6 years. Funnily, you guys started your podcast about a month before we started ours. We, of course, don't have a podcast anymore. But I knew absolutely nothing about podcasts except that I enjoyed listening to them. So I did what any budding podcaster would do and went and downloaded the latest episode of dang near every Disney podcast I could find. I don't remember which episode it was, but I do know that it was early in your show that I tuned in and immediately connected with the two of you as hosts. They say the best podcasts feel like you're having a conversation with good friends. Not only can I say that that's true of your show, but on many occasions that became a reality as we regularly joined one another on each other's shows. Sadly, we haven't podcasted in years, but our friendship has remained in spite of that. And we did get to podcast recently by coming on your show, so that was fun. I'm sure that when I listen to this anniversary episode, it's going to be obvious that this type of friendship is true not just for Rachel and me, but for many of your listeners. You guys truly care about building relationships with people and bonding over our shared love of Disney. You never hesitate to make people a part of your world. And, for that, I'm grateful that podcasting brought us together. I'm thankful that I know that you are just a phone call or a text away. And I'm thankful that when I'm in Florida or you're in Ohio, we're hanging out. So, congrats on 6 years of an incredible show. And here is to many, many more. Cheers.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Keenan. And we have been so happy to be able to connect, like you said, through podcasting and to expand that beyond podcasting as friendships. It means a lot to us. And we do look forward to having you on again. We got to do some Marvel. Actually, we have some ideas planned out. So since you are our area Marvel experts, we need to bring you back on for that. But thank you again for your very warm message. And we really appreciate that. And we appreciate you all. And thank you for letting us join your family on a trip to Disney World together. So.
Yeah. Keaton and Rachel, you know what we think about you. You're very special people. You're very special to us. And can't thank you enough for your message, but just can't thank you enough for your friendship. We early on started listening to each other's podcasts, started appearing on each other's podcasts. We still miss the Part of Our World podcast.
Yeah.
I know that there's other priorities going on in your lives right now, but we're still hoping someday maybe it'll make a return. But either way, you always have a spot on our show, and we just appreciate
Definitely.
you so much.
For sure.
For sure. So over the past year, we were lucky enough to do a couple of cruises along with our visits to the theme parks. One was a non-Disney cruise. That was kind of was a non-Disney cruise after all. But we did also have an exceptional Marvel Day at Sea cruise, which was so amazing. Is one of our favorite cruises we've had in recent memory. This is something we found out just the other day when we were just kind of perusing around online. We actually found out that we are listed on a certain website as the third best Disney cruise podcast. I don't know how that happened, but that's an honor that we're really excited to have found out about.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, and sometimes I feel like we maybe talk about cruising a little too much, but
apparently that's enough.
I guess.
I thought we didn't talk about it enough. So it's amazing to me.
Maybe it's just when we have personal conversations, there's always cruising in there in the topic. But yeah, that was fun to hear that, and we were definitely blessed to have gone on that amazing Marvel Days at Sea cruise. Check out that episode if you're ever thinking about doing any of the themed cruises on Disney. They are special. And it's funny, I remember when first hearing about some of those cruises thinking a day only, but it really is a whole cruise celebration, but they do focus some activities on a particular day, and it was wonderful.
Yeah, go back and listen to that episode when we recapped it, because I was just kind of like, I'm just happy to be on a cruise.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel, I love Marvel. That'll be great too. But I was completely overwhelmed by how good the Marvel experience was during that Marvel Day at Sea, and the entire cruise. Just had such a great time. That was spectacular. Speaking of Disney cruises, we've made some friends in that community as well. This was a note that came from Chris from DCL Cruising Dad. He sent us a nice magnet not that long ago that's going to be starting to go on our Disney cruise doors when we go out. He said, I wanted to personally congratulate you both on your 6th anniversary, and cheers to many more. From the time I have found your podcast and social media handles, there's one thing that has always resonated with me and my family is all the smiles in your photos and life. You both bring such outstanding positivity into so many lives, not just for Disney stuff, but also demonstrating how to enjoy all the little things in life. Listening to you both brings me such joy, and I cannot wait to hear about your next sailing. Hope to meet you all one day, Chris. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Chris.
really appreciate that, Chris. It really touches our heart that you said so many kind things, and we think the world of you too. We are so happy that we have connected as well.
Yes, and we have a lot of Disney cruise type topics coming up over the next year, maybe because we have a couple coming up. But Chris, get ready for a message. You may be hearing from us sometime in the very near future.
Yes.
So thank you very much for that message. So yes, we do have plans for a couple of Disney cruises over the next year. And of course, those were set up by our favorite certified Disney vacation planner. Of course, we're talking about Nate from Main Street and More Travel. He sent us a note as well. He said, 6 years already. It's amazing how quickly time passes. It seems like just yesterday we were first connected, bonding over our shared passion for Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars. Little did I know that initial connection would evolve and deepen so beautifully over the years. I wanted to take a moment to express my gratitude. Thank you for being a source of continual positivity. Thank you for your unwavering support and encouragement throughout these years. Most importantly, thank you for being such wonderful friends. Congratulations on this impressive milestone. I can't wait to celebrate this significant achievement with you both. First round is on me. Until then, I raise my glass and toast you both, and an extra cheers to Michelle for always providing the best tips. Thank you, Nate. You know what we feel about you. You're
Yes. Yeah. You and your wife, Serena, we're so happy to have gotten to know you as well. And for all the joy that you bring to us and other people through your skills at being a certified Disney planner, but also just being a certified wonderful Disney friend as well. And thank you for taking the time to connect with us today for our celebration. And we do look forward to celebrating with you all as well.
Completely. And he's out all the time. So
I know.
I'm sure we'll have that chance
Yes.
for him to buy us around and for us to buy him around back coming up very, very soon. And again, you'll hear the ad later, but it's Nate, Main Street and More Travel. You can find him at Distrips and More on social media. Definitely check out all his stuff.
Yeah.
He is
Check out his blog. It's
fantastic.
great.
Yes, he does a great blog too. Yes, for sure. So we've continued connections with some amazing other podcasters who've become friends, many of which who have been on our show. One pair who hasn't been on the show yet, but continues to be some of our most supportive people in the entire Disney community, are Troy and Mimi from the Disney Assembled podcast. They've just continued to, just share nice messages and interact with us on various topics in our social media posts. And they wrote us this note. This was from Troy and Mimi, as I said, from Disney Assemble Podcast. They say, wow, 6 years of the Hyperion Adventures podcast. Thank you so much for bringing all the positivity to the Disney community. We are all better for having found your show and from getting to know you, Tom and Michelle, even if virtually. Here's to the next 6 years. Thank you, Troy and Mimi.
Yeah, we really appreciate you taking the time out. I feel like we're ships passing in the night. We do need to connect and get together on podcasting. And also a shout out and congratulations to Mimi. And again, thank you so much for taking the time to send us that warm celebratory message.
Yep. And no, we've already discussed it. We are working on a topic to bring you on the
Yes.
show. It's going to happen this year 6 of the podcast. Troy and Mimi, if you're willing, we would love to have you on the show. It's going to happen. It's going to happen very, very soon.
Exactly.
Yeah. So going a little bit back to the beginning, when we started the show, we weren't completely sure what our focus would be of this show. And some would say, you still haven't found the focus on this show. Where are you this week? What are you doing just from moment to moment on this show?
It's a good question.
Yeah. But however, at some point, as we were progressing through this, we decided that we needed to become the Disney podcast of positivity, because that just kind of felt like who we are and what the community needed for so many reasons. Right, Michelle?
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that I think in the back of our minds, we never really put the thought together, but we knew that's what we were. I mean, that's how we were approaching each week and everything. And it's something that helps keep us positive, is these connections and these ability to share with you all and letting you indulge us into that each week. So yeah, it's been great.
It has been great. And, so how we came to that conclusion was that we just kind of felt like, look, we're watching the news, we're watching things in general, and especially social media, that there was so much bad energy out there that, look, we can be something different, and will it hurt us numbers wise? Are people kind of drawn to some of that? I think it's arguably could be true, but that's just not who we are. And that's not what we wanted to convey. We decided that we were going to be that 60 to 90 minutes, sometimes longer, very rarely 60, but that oasis for you in the sea of negativity that surrounds us every day.
Yeah. And it's not like we don't recognize that with anything in life, things could be improved on. But and also to really get the full value and appreciation for anything in life is looking at the positive components of it. And I think that's also where we went with our approach to the podcast, is that, there's always things that even when we experience, say, I wish this, or I wish that would come back, or I wish they would do it differently. But the majority of the joy that comes is because we are experiencing the positive components of it.
Again, we just want to be that spot where you can kind of just break away from all that noise, all that bad energy for a little bit. And hopefully we're conveying that. And it seems like from what people are saying that that's coming through. And I'll tell you what, we couldn't have been more thrilled when a new Hyperion adventurer reached out to us and basically told us the energy he got from listening to the show for the first time was exactly like he nailed it, what our mission statement has become. And guess what? He sent us a message as well.
Hi, Tom and Michelle. Chris Mazza here. Just wanted to congratulate you on 6 years of Disney positivity. I look forward to every episode every week because of your joy, your enthusiasm, your joie de vivre, and of course, Michelle's best research, best lists, and best tips. Here's to another great 6 years, and see you real soon.
Thank you. So that's Chris Mazza from the Mazza Musings podcast. Like I said, the first time he said he listened to the show, like he posted on social media and nailed our mission statement, Michelle.
Definitely. And for sure, you'll want to listen to his podcast as well. It is a great one. And it's even really cute when he has his daughter come on, who's adorable and hilarious. But yes, thanks, Chris, so much for recognizing what we're trying to do here and for acknowledging that. And we really appreciate it. And we're looking forward to a very long friendship.
Very much so. And I really believe that that's going to happen with Chris because there's a lot of things we have in common. One, we love Disney. He's all about positivity. He and I both have, and you too, but I mean, especially like he has a sports background. Mm-hmm. I have a sports radio background. I really feel like there's going to be like some connections between all those things coming up in the future. And Chris, you also, we have plans in place to have you on the show sometime very, very soon.
Definitely.
Yes, very soon. So speaking of positivity and love, well, there's a certain person and family that have made many, many appearances on our show, and they've grown to become some of our closest friends, so special to us. They've been so supportive to us in high times, in low times. I'm talking about Tony, the Disney dad. Mm-hmm. He's just an amazing person. He has an amazing family. And yes, he too, of course, because he's just a great person, sent us a message as well.
Happy 6th anniversary to the Hyperion Adventures Podcast, Tom and Michelle. What an accomplishment to be doing a Disney podcast for 6 years. This is Tony, the Disney dad. I've had the privilege of being on your show a few times and getting to know you guys personally outside of the show. And you two are great people and you put a positive show out there. And it's really been great to come and listen to you guys since the very beginning. 6 years is a long time. And hey, 6 years, that's the same number of items that you guys have in your top 5 list. How about that? Or maybe this is the 5B anniversary of the Hyperion Adventures podcast. Anyway, your topics range from funny to serious to thoughtful. And of course, Michelle always has the best lists and tips and advice. But thank you both for doing what you do. Keep doing it. It's much appreciated. I was looking through all the pictures of when we met in the parks. All right. We never got a picture. But it'll happen one day. Anyway, happy anniversary, Tom, Michelle.
Oh, Tony, really appreciate that. Love your love, your humor. Your family is idols of ours. I mean, you really set the bar high of what a good bunch of people are. And we couldn't be more honored that you call us friends because we think the world of you all. And we do miss your podcast, but we think that the love and joy that you've brought to your family and the world is so special. And we couldn't be more blessed, as I said, to be able to be called your friends.
Yeah. Tony came on the show, of course, this year, and he's been on the show many, many times, he and his family, and we couldn't have enjoyed our time with them more. We've been blessed to have been able to meet them in the parks. And yes, Tony, it's a running joke is that we meet and we just never get a picture together. And that's going to change very, very soon. I swear, like that's the first thing I'm going to do before we even say hi is this, I'm going to start snapping pictures of us and then we can hug and say hi and have a conversation and whatever.
Exactly.
Because it's just so funny. Or maybe we just don't and we just keep it a running joke. I don't know. And you way undershot, 6 because our lists are always more than 6. Let's be honest. But Tony, you're great. We love you. Your family's great. We love them. You are truly, as Michelle said, truly, truly special people.
Yeah. Yeah. And thank you again for taking the time to send us this warm message.
Mm-hmm. So once again, going back to kind of the beginning of our podcast 6 years ago, there were a couple other shows. We already heard from part of our World podcast, Keenan and Rachel, but there were a couple other shows that also started at nearly the same time. And kind of over the years, as we've progressed, we've kind of been joined at the hip in many regards. We've bonded in so many spectacular ways. We've appeared on each other's shows numerous times. And both of these shows have become some of our nearest and dearest friends. First off, we'll talk about our great friends from Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Diz, Frank and Jen. They were in separate locations, yet they took the time to go ahead and send us a clip.
Hey, Tom and Michelle, it's Frank from Dillo's Diz. The two of you, the consistent Disney and Disney theme park podcast of positivity. I am speaking to you from a most unique location, the lobby of Universal Sapphire Falls Resort in lovely Orlando, Florida. But taking the time here to wish you both a happy 6th anniversary. I'm not going to ask Jem to rank her 6 favorite years of the Hyperion Adventures podcast in order. I'm not going to ask her to pick 6. No. We're only here to wish you both the best. But since I'm here in Orlando, I'm going to pass it over to Jen to close things out. And another happy and glorious, fabulous Sunday on your 6th anniversary. And here's to many, many more. Over to you, Jen.
Hi, Tom and Michelle. It's Jen, the other half, whatever, of Dillo's Diz, coming to you from my regular location. I am nowhere fabulous, but I am here to wish you both a fabulous Hyperion Adventures anniversary. I know Frank said he wouldn't make me rank my favorite years of the podcast, and I'm thankful for that. One, because I hate ranking things, and you know this, and also because I never could. I can't rank them. They have all been my favorite. I am just so thankful we have gotten to know you over the years. It's so great hearing you every week on your podcast. I love what you bring to the Disney community, your positivity, your energy, your enthusiasm. It's all the things we love. And we're just grateful to be in the same space as you. And hopefully, maybe, possibly, maybe before the next anniversary, we could actually meet in person, because it's driving me a little crazy at this point. It's been too long, and I can't even believe it hasn't happened yet. I don't understand what's happening. Anyway, okay, let me calm down a second. Happy anniversary, guys. Wishing you all the best. Keep it going. Keep being you. We love you guys. Happy anniversary.
Thank you so much, Frank and Jen. That really means a lot to us. First of all, we know you all do an amazing podcast, TikTok, YouTube. You're all in. And it's just so encouraging to us to think that that could be done, but I don't know how you do it, how you put in all that time and still produce great content every time. We really do have been I can't talk now. I think I'm emotional. We really are very honored, again, to have gotten to know you. And it is incredible that we haven't met in person. Kind of tried several times. So I don't know. what keeps happening, what blocks that. But the universe has got to give us a break sometime here and let us actually get to meet you in person. We always love listening to your show. We love you being on our show and having that camaraderie together. Jen, I swear, I think we're cloned in our thoughts of things and our impressions. Every time I hear your podcast and I hear you describe your reactions to things, I'm like, oh, that's exactly how I feel. And honey, I think you even mentioned that recently too. It's like you and Jen are just so much alike. And so thank you again for your friendship and for your love of Disney as well. And we just look forward to this continued great friendship. But in person sometime.
Yes, definitely in person. Although I do find it funny that we're talking about meeting in person. And once again, Frank is in Orlando, and yet we will not be connecting during his short trip to Universal this week. But that's okay. I get it. It's not for those reasons. I understand. But I believe there are a couple other possibilities coming up this year. And somehow we are going to have to figure that out because we need to. It's must. It's important for year 7 of the Hyperion Adventures podcast that we meet with Dillo's Diz. Although, I don't know, the world may end at that point. I don't know, but it has to happen. But either way, we are going to be having you guys, assuming you're willing, back on the show sometime in year 7 because we got a lot of stuff to talk about and we're already formulating topics.
Yeah.
We've already discussed a couple possibilities that we need to bring you back on for. So that's coming. I can't promise this, but I don't think we're going to have Michelle do any trivia to scare you away.
I'm promising no more trivia.
I'll do that, but we'll try and avoid it as much as we can. But Frank and Jen, thank you so much for your message.
Sure.
We love you guys. You guys are the best.
Most definitely.
Speaking of another podcast that we've been joined at the hip with since nearly the beginning. Look, we said it many, many times. On Sundays, we set you up. On Mondays, they knock you out. We are the 1-2 punch of theme park podcasts. Of course, we're talking about the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. Justin, Landon, Steffers, we've gotten to know them and we just are so thrilled to have them in our lives. And we can't wait to expand more on that friendship in the very near future. And Justin sent us a little message as well.
Hey, Tom and Michelle, it's Justin Monorail from the Monday Morning Monorail Podcast. And I am here on behalf of Landon the Dawsdone, Steffers, and of course myself, to congratulate you and wish you a very happy 6th anniversary. You know, when I started thinking about the best way to celebrate your 6th podcasting anniversary, I felt stumped trying to come up with an idea that was worthy of this achievement. But then I thought, what better way than to spell out Hyperion and use those letters to tell you all how much you mean to me. So let's start with H. H stands for hosts. Michelle, Tom, the both of you. Of course, that's where we start. You are both amazing and the best Disney podcast hosts around. And of course, Michelle is the best trivia host of all time among many other achievements that she has on her resume. Now we've got Y. That to me stands for your #1 Disney podcast for news and entertainment. There's a lot out there. This one's #1. And why is that? Why? P. P is for positivity. This is the most positive Disney podcast that you're ever going to find. And that is what we all need in our lives. A little more smiles, a little more happiness. And that's what Tom and Michelle bring to you. You know why? Because they have E. Enthusiasm. Enthusiasm for the parks, enthusiasm for the Disney movies, the shows, the songs, the music, and of course, each other. And because they're so enthusiastic, they have this great information, and that makes them R. Reliable. You can rely on the things that Tom and Michelle tell you. And I'll tell you this, as a friend, and I have personal experience in this, there's nobody more reliable than Tom and Michelle when you need somebody to lean on, which leads me to I. They're incredibly friendly. The most friendly people you'd ever want to meet. I've been lucky enough to meet them several times. I've spent a lot of time with them. I consider them to be 2 of my very best friends. And I'm just telling you, they are as friendly as they sound on the show. Now we go to O. What does O stand for? Well, going back to meeting up with Tom and Michelle in the parks, I have never met a more organized person than Michelle. When you want to go in the parks and you want to have a plan of action, especially when it comes to an Epcot festival, you will not find anyone more organized than Michelle. And if you just listen to the show, just listen to the Hyperion Adventures podcast, and you will know that Tom is the most prepared podcast host that you've ever met. Most prepared, most organized. That show is tight and runs like a well-oiled machine, and that's because they're organized, which leads me to N. And N stands for never, ever stop doing what you're doing. You're making an amazing show. 6 years has gone by in the blink of an eye. I look forward to 6 and many, many, many more. Tom, Michelle, I love you both so much. Congratulations on your 6th anniversary. And cheers. Keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. And I hope I just get to keep being your friend. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Justin. First of all, yes, you are near and dear to our hearts for sure. You and your family, we love you so much. And thank you for letting us be a part of your family as well. And can't express our appreciation enough for taking the time for such a creative and wonderful way to express a celebratory message to us. We love it. And that is above and beyond for sure. Thank you. Thank you so much. And we look forward to spending more time together in the parks. I know we got something planned pretty soon, so looking forward to it.
Very much so. And I apologize, Justin, for having such a long name. If you needed to use that many letters to discuss our show. But thank you for all that work.
Yeah.
Talking about organized. And by
Right.
the way, yes, Michelle is very organized in the parks. Yeah, very good. This show and my part in it.
Yeah. It is. You're modest, honey.
You made me misty-eyed. Justin, thank you so much for that. That was an amazing
Yes.
note. We love you dearly. We love your family. And we have so many more years ahead to get together and enjoy each other's company. And we just can't wait to spend more and more time with you.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, have you back on the show for us to make hopefully appearances. Maybe on the Monday Morning Monorail podcast with Landon and Steffers as well, but also the Pass Holder Lounge,
Right.
which we've been on before. We just enjoyed our time, but more than anything, we just love our friendship with you.
Yeah, and we appreciate all that you bring to the podcasting world as well. You have some mad
Talk
skills.
about organized. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you, Justin. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. Again, the 1-2 punch of Disney or our theme park podcast. We
Right.
set them up. Monday Morning Monorail knocks them down. Definitely check them out. So speaking of our dearest friends, we're going to get set to wrap up our look back with something that, was from a couple of guys that have been on the show a couple of times over the last year. But not only are they some of our best friends, I consider them my brothers. They are our found family for sure. I'm talking about Pat and Charles from the Conversations podcast. They are family to us. And they, of course, being the wonderful and hilarious guys they are, they send us a little message as well.
Hey, it's Pat and Charles from the Conversations Podcast, here to wish Tom and Michelle a happy anniversary. 6 years for the Hyperion Adventures Podcast. Pat, we're doing the video. Come this way. Yeah, closer over here. And we just want to say we love the show. We love Tom and Michelle. They're like family. And it's such an honor to be their friends. And this is meant to be both of us because we're both doing it. So look, I've got a spot like right here.
I see what you're doing.
I'm right here.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm Han. I saw the post and I get to choose the characters. I chose the characters. So I'm playing Han. Look at that, pretty cool. The vest and the shirt and a whole bit.
But I didn't even get a chance to pick who I...
Well, no, because I saw the post first, so I get to choose the characters. I chose them, so I'm playing Han. Hey, Tom and Michelle, I'm starting it over. I'll do another take.
Okay.
Hey, Tom and Michelle, it's Pat and Charles from Conversation.
Why couldn't I be Luke or like Obi-Wan or Mandalorian? Plo Koon even.
I know, you've got all these costumes here. They're like all over right here, but that's not the point. I chose the characters. It's fun for me to do sometimes too, and I wanted to be Han. I'm never Han. I don't even look like Han, but I feel like Han. Okay, one more take. Hey, Hey, Tom and Michelle, it's Pat and Charles from Conversations Podcast. Just want to wish you a happy 6-year anniversary for the podcast. We love you guys. We love the show. Come on, smile at least for Tom and Michelle. We love the show, and I hope you love our costumes too. Can't wait for the next 6 years. Smile.
Tom, Michelle, happy anniversary. Here's to another 60 more.
Ooh. Wow.
Into the garbage chute, fly boy.
I was on.
Okay, now I'm going to be honest with you. That clip was probably better seen. It's a video.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's probably better seen than heard.
Yeah.
All that is the reason why you're going to want to check out this YouTube. Probably share it on social media as well, just because it's hilarious and wonderful, right, Michelle?
Yeah, it's brilliant. It really is. And that's why it made my favorite thing of the week is just getting to see that. It's so fabulous. And talk about fabulous, both of these guys and their families. I don't even have the words to express the love and gratitude that we have for getting to know you and being able to share our worlds together, because it is phenomenal. And there are no sweeter, more kinder people than Pat and Charles. And we love you so very much. And I could go on, but I know I got to keep it so I don't get emotional.
Guys, I have to thank you because, well, Michelle said I had to. But no, really, you guys are amazing. And that video, I'm telling you, it's spectacular. Spoiler alert for it, in case you want to wait and check it out. Jump ahead about 30 seconds. What happens there is Pat is dressed full Princess Leia New Hope cosplay. It's amazing. You have to see the video. Thanks, guys. You guys are hilarious. You're wonderful. You're warm. We love you dearly. You are two of our best friends and my brothers. So thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And, that is kind of gives you a peek into how wonderful listening to their podcast can be. Yes, it's full of laughter and fun, but it's also full of great information. I always learn so much more and have such greater appreciation for the characters of Star Wars each time that I listen to their podcast. Thank you so much. Again, I just don't have the words to express just how much love I have.
I think it's also Scott's favorite podcast.
It is. He loves it more than ours.
Conversations much more than he'd like to listen to our show. That's for sure. So, guys, thank you again. The video was you hit it out of the park.
Yeah,
it was amazing, spectacular, so good. Everybody, check it out. You'll chuckle
for sure.
If not, just burst out completely laughing. It's so good. It's good. Now, before we move on to more of what's coming up in year 7 of the Hyperion Adventures podcast, we need to take one more look back at something that was pretty exceptional and special that happened to us in the show during the past year. And it all started back in September of 2023, when we were lucky enough to attend Destination D23. This is another of our bonus episodes that we're doing, kind of following up the days here at Destination D23. We were shown right off to kick off the Walt Disney Studios showcase, a short that is arguably the most phenomenal Disney short that you will ever find anywhere. They completely wrecked me. It was hilarious, moving, heart-wrenching. It was everything. It hit all the emotions. It was phenomenal.
It really was. And when they say there wasn't a dry eye in the house, that truly was this. This required a ton of people to be involved to do this, a ton of talent.
Incredible. Can't wait. We may have to have another whole episode just about it because it's special. It really is special. Probably the biggest thing, though, for me this week was the reaction to people when they finally got to check out Once Upon a Studio, either on ABC or Disney Plus or both. And I was so happy to see the reaction was exactly what we felt, that across the board, everybody adored that short.
Yeah, I think one of the things we were concerned about is we saw it in, I guess, the ideal situation, but glad to see that people still saw the layers of wonderfulness of that short.
We should actually just do an episode based on Once Upon a Studio, because we could talk all day about it. Boy, are we lucky today to welcome aboard the co-creators, the co-directors of Once Upon a Studio, Dan Abraham and Trent Corey. Guys, welcome to the Hyperion Adventures Podcast.
Hey, Tom and Michelle, good to be here.
Thank you so much. My gosh, that lead-in was, wow, amazing.
You kind of separated and went off and to do other projects. I know, Trent, you worked on the Zootopia Plus series, which was great. Yeah. Dan, you were working on Baymax, ! You directed one of the episodes there. But it seems like there was something else in the background you guys were percolating right about that time. Might have something we're talking about right now?
Well, we were having separation anxiety. Like, we had such a good time on Once Upon a Snowman, and then when we went our separate ways and we were working on other stuff, and we're like, how do we work together again? And so we thought, well, let's think of a pitch. Let's think of something that we could do together again.
We'd go back and forth until finally we had something presentable to pitch. We had beat boards. Dan had done a lot of beat boards, and we had reference images and kind of like this idea to celebrate the 100 year. And in that pitch to Jennifer Lee was also that we want to bring back original voice actors, and that we want to do hand-drawn animation on paper, and that we want to bring animators out of retirement. That was all in the original pitch. So we kind of packaged this thing up together and got it on Zoom, and Dan started pitching.
So I pitched through all the storyboards, and I had to sing to her at the end, and just had to put yourself in a place of don't think about what you're doing, singing to the chief creative officer of Walt Disney Feature Animation. But when it was over, it was the ultimate. Well, we have talked about this so many times to each other about how we will never forget when, she said, I don't know how, but we have to figure out how to make this.
Well, and by the way, too, before she said that wonderful line of I don't know how, but we need to make this, Dan finished the pitch, cut to black, and she just got up. It was on Zoom. She got up and left the screen with no explanation. And it felt like, it was probably only a few seconds, but it felt like forever. And Dan and I were like, oh.
We were looking at each other like, oh my God, what happened? Where did she go? What happened?
And then she came back in, and she had a Kleenex, and her glasses were on her head, and she was wiping away tears, and she said, I don't know how, but we need to make this. We have to make this happen.
We couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it.
This was the one thing that I think really united the Disney community. Everybody loved this short. And it's a testament to you two for putting it all together, doing such a great job and such great work. So from all of us, all us Disney fans, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for putting this together. It was brilliant, wonderful, beautiful. Thank you so much.
That means so much.
Yeah, you really don't know how much that means to us. I mean, that's everything. Thank you very, very much.
And from a personal perspective, we couldn't be more thrilled that you all joined us. We're really appreciative of your time and sharing these wonderful stories with us.
Anytime. No, it's our pleasure.
You have a great podcast, and you're both so lovely to talk to. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you. You're the lovely one.
Appreciate that. That means a lot to us.
So what a special
part
of our year, and it makes me emotional now to think about that happened. Like that happened.
I know. So hard to believe. The whole experience, like you played there in the clips, is that, from the very beginning when we saw it, it was such an emotional, wonderful experience. And then to be able to eventually get to have them on our show and then eventually meet. At least Dan, we were able to meet. We know we couldn't meet with Trent at the time, but just to have that whole experience from start to end there, that was great and special. And again, a real positive plus thing that has come out of our podcasting.
It was, I can't talk about how special that whole situation was, from the chance to be lucky enough to see that short, before most other people had seen it in the world. And then, to like, come on and say, this thing's great, but we can't really talk about it because we don't want to spoil it for you all. And then the build up to it actually coming out, and our concern of like, are we building this up too much? But then being rewarded when everybody saw it and everybody loved it.
Right.
Finally having those guys on the show, which was absolutely incredible. And this, like you mentioned, getting to go and get a tour of the Walt Disney Animation Studios building, and with Dan Abraham himself, helping lead us through a good portion of it. It was just such a special time.
Yeah, it's like I said, that the whole thing is pinch me moments, but who would have ever guessed that we would have had that opportunity? And we were talking about a ton of blessings coming upon us at once. That whole experience really did that for us.
It was really, really special, and such a high moment, not only for year 6 of the Hyperion Adventures podcast, but the entire 6th year. Like, oh, and guess what? We also got a message from somebody.
Hi, I'm Dan Abraham, one of the directors of Once Upon a Studio, wishing Hyperion Adventures podcast a very happy 6th anniversary. It was a pleasure to be interviewed by you last year, and keep up the good work and bring in the Disney magic.
That's so special. It really is a testament to how wonderful these people are, not just in their skills and their talents, their creativity, and their ability to have connections with people through their work, but to really be so special and to take the time out of their busy schedule, one, to be interviewed us, but then also to share a special message to us. We truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Dan. They are both so incredibly busy, and they're hands-on right now. Dan is working on Moana 2. Trying to get that out, by November and get it all together. I'm sure they're in, crunch mode right now, along with everything else that he's got going on. For him to take even that little 20 seconds or whatever it was time to send us a little message is so sweet and wonderful. And I couldn't say thank you more for taking the time to do that.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And we hope to have Dan maybe on again, maybe to talk Moana 2. No guarantees, but we're kind of hoping, but we'll see what happens with that in year 7.
And we wish him and his team much success in what they're working on.
The whole animation team, they're phenomenal. They're spectacular. The stuff they put out is choice stuff.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much for all the work you've done. And thanks for you and Trent both for giving us the joy, one, for being on the show, but also giving us the joy that Once Upon a Studio has brought us over the past year.
And continues when we see it again. It still has that heart-touching experience for us.
Still wrecks me every single time.
Yep.
100%. So moving ahead, what's ahead for the Hyperion Adventures podcast in year 7?
I don't know. What?
A lot of what we've done in the past. Many trips to the Walt Disney World Resort, including, in less than 2 weeks, the D23 special preview of Tiana's Bayou Adventure. We'll be talking about that. We may even do something, probably not at the preview, but maybe when we get back to our resort, maybe we'll do a little live check-in to kind of tell you about a little bit what we thought of it, and just have a little fun. Check us out on social media where that may appear. It's the 22nd, so that evening at some point we may do that.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's not just a preview of the attraction, but kind of a celebration along with it, where they'll have a live band there and some special treats. I'm sure some beignets will be coming out there, and so we're just really excited to be able to experience that rollout of the reimagined attraction that we've all been looking forward to through things that we've seen about what the Imagineers have designed and the music. And so it's great. And again, we feel like it's going to be a very special way to experience that with the D23 event celebration.
Yeah. And that just kicks off our many things we have planned going to the Walt Disney World Resort, many new experiences still to check out, new things that are coming all the time. And of course, we'll be here to discuss them all the time because we have to talk Disney. That's what we do. And we love it. We do have a few, as I mentioned before, yes, a few Disney cruises planned for this next year, including the one that's coming up here in September. It's a back-to-back sailing that should take us to 2 stops at Disney's new private destination, Lookout Key, of course. We're looking forward to that. We'll tell you all about that when that happens, as well as any of the other stuff that's happening with our cruise. We do have we haven't completely booked it yet, but at least one Run Disney race planned, which is exciting. We always love our Run Disney races, and we're excited to talk all about that and hopefully see some of you out there. We plan on bringing many of these people you've heard, as we've mentioned throughout the show, back on the show at various times with various different topics. We couldn't be more excited to do that, right, Michelle?
Oh, for sure. It's always great to have very talented, wonderful people come on your show and help it shine a little bit more.
Right. We just want to do exactly what we've been doing. And mostly that's just continuing to be the Disney podcast of positivity, to build and continue our friendships with you and hopefully meet you and take more pictures with you, Tony, and many other people. Take any pictures with Tony, yes, but with any other people. Meet you in the parks, meet you on the show, interact on social media, do the shows that you like, hopefully that you enjoy. We just want to continue on what we've been doing for the last 6 years and just build on it and make them even more special.
Yeah. And like we've said in the past, if there's a particular topic you'd like us to delve into, connect with us. Let us know because we want to bring that to you.
Yeah. So that's it. That's what we do. That's what we're continuing on. Michelle, is there anything else you want to hit on before we close out this 6th anniversary party?
Yeah, no, I think I'm just overwhelmed again with the love and appreciation for all of you who reached out to us to help celebrate, whether you submitted something that we included today or just some of your kind messages offline to us. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you, most importantly, for being such wonderful people and friends of ours.
Yes. Thank you for everything you brought to us that was unexpected when we started this show 6 years ago. That's come around, and we just can't tell you how much we appreciate the friendship, the love, the interaction, everything.
Right.
This show is as much about you as it is about us. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for enjoying and wrapping yourselves in the positivity that we're trying to share here. Because I know it's easy to pick out other podcasts that, maybe, will say certain things, whether they believe them or not. That's not what we're about. We try and be as accurate as possible. We try and be as positive as possible. And we appreciate that you've kind of gravitated towards that.
Yes. And we appreciate our other podcast comrades. Thank you for also being very positive and to share the love of Disney with us.
It's a comrade with an accent there.
Yeah.
Yes. No, we
I think my brain is just fried now from all
this very emotional
excitement.
We've had an
joy.
emotional brain going on right now. Yes. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of the Hyperion Adventures podcast. Whether you listened once, whether you've listened 312 plus times, we just can't tell you how special it is that you've been willing to be a part of the show, to listen, to interact, and to just become special to us.
Exactly.
And that has been our 6th anniversary extravaganza.